In this study, we aim to discuss the triggering mechanism of the YangBi Foreshock sequence, which occurs 3 months ago in the Yunnan province of China. Researchers from UC Riverside, China Earthquake Administration, and Peking University are involved. The YangBi main shock occurs on May 21, 2021. The seismogenic fault is an unmapped fault with right lateral struck slip motion. The main shock is preceded by 3 major foreshocks, 2 magnitude 4 foreshocks, F1 and F2, that occurs 3 and 2 days ahead, respectively, and the largest and latest magnitude 5 foreshock, denoted as capital F. So this is a rare case that a large earthquake with abundant foreshock activity is well recorded, and thus may deepen our understanding towards the foreshock physics. 2 end-member models exist to explain the formation foreshock: the Cascade model and slow slip model. The Cascade model argues that column stress change causes the inter-event triggering. Thus, a cascading sequence would have each event located on the edge of previous rupture, where a large column stress change exists. However, in many case studies, foreshock activity shows clear migration in a large scale, and the slow slip generated by the afterslip of major foreshocks is proved to be the dominant mechanism. To discriminate between the 2 end-member models, we need to know whether column stress change is large enough to initiate an earthquake. So this requires precise event location and a well-constrained rupture model. Thus, in YangBi, we applied a high-resolution catalog constructed by mesh filter to depict the rupture length. We also utilized spectral ratio analysis to estimate the rupture area, which together gives a 2D rectangular rupture model. We find that the largest foreshock occur on a different but parallel fault with F1 and F2. All major foreshocks show clear unilateral rupture. Based on this finite fault model, we can model the column stress evolution and discuss the possibility of cascade triggering. For the first stage, from F1 to F2, it is clear that F2 locates in a large stress change area, indicating cascade triggering. However, in the second stage, we find that F2 cannot trigger the largest foreshock or the main shock by a static stress change, because it causes negative change in F and small change in M. In the final stage, the relation between M and F seems to be weak, because the column stress change induced by F is small, even though both F2 and capital F have positive effect on M. Based on the column stress modeling, we reach the following conclusions. First, F1 triggers F2 by a cascade process. Second, both the largest foreshock and the main shock is triggered by the afterslip of F2, because the afterslip occurs on 2 sides of the rupture area, and thus mimic the way of the F1 and F2 in terms of column stress change. Finally, we conclude that the largest foreshock has a weak relation with the main shock, because neither co-seismic rupture or its afterslip can explain the triggering. In summary, the YangBi sequence is more than a triggered cascade, but combines a hybrid triggering mechanism.